Hello students, myself Professor Ashok M Jain. In this lecture number 9, I am going to discuss two numericals based on the block diagram reduction technique. This is part 3. Earlier in part 1 and part 2, that was a lecture number 7 and 8, I have solved 2 plus 2, 4 numericals based on this block diagram reduction technique. So this is the last part for the block diagram reduction technique. I'm going to solve two numericals. Okay. So this is the numerical number 1. Find the transfer function of a system given in the following block diagram. Okay, so what we will do, you can see here, this is the feedback loop for this here. So it is, I am going to shift this takeoff point from here to here. So you are going to shift ahead of the block. So if you are going to shift ahead of the block, what we have to do? We have to multiply by the gain of the block. Okay. So just I am going to shift. This is R of S. R of S. Okay. This is error detector plus, and this is again plus. Okay. This is G1. This is the error detector we have here. It is negative feedback. Here also negative feedback. Okay. And this is G2. This is G3. Okay. This is CF. C of S. Okay. And I am shifting this error detector here. Here. In place of here, I am going to here. And this is negative feedback. This is also negative feedback. So what will be the gain of the system I am going to take? Okay. I'm going to shift here. This is the takeoff point. Okay. So it was already from here. Here it was H1. Okay. And it will be, if you shift from here to here, so it will be H2 into G3. And both are negative. So it is negative. So I'm going to add directly here. I'm going to reduce one step. So it will be H2 into G3. H2 into G3. So just I'm going to change it. Okay. So this is the block. It is H1 plus H2G3. H2G3. And this is here, right? So you can take it separately, this and this. Otherwise you can add, this is negative feedback for both and this plus this. Okay. Now you can say this is G3. This is G3. Okay. And one more feedback loop for this. It is what? H1. For this is also H1. This is positive. Unity nahi hai, it is H1 only for this. Okay. For this is H1. For this is also H1. Okay. Now you can say this is forming a closed loop. Okay. So I'm going to use another ink, say black. Okay. So you can say this is forming a closed loop. Okay. So what will be the value we will see here? This is R of S. Okay, this is the plus, it is also plus, it is H1. We'll discuss point later on. This is G1, this is G1. Okay, now this is forming a closed loop. So what is the transfer function of this block? Is G2, that is GS upon 1 plus, because it is a negative feedback, so plus, sorry, it is G2, sorry, just wait. Okay, so this is GS is G2 upon 1, it is a negative feedback, so plus GS matlab G2 into HS matlab this H1 plus H2 G3, GS upon 1 plus GS HS. Okay, so this is the value I got it from here, and it is cascade with G1. Okay, it is cascade with G1, so I'm not going to use this, so I'm removing it. Okay, so I'm getting one block here. What is the value of G1 into G2? G1 into G2, because it is cascade, upon this 1 plus G2 H1 plus G2 G3 H2 plus G2 G3 H2. Okay, so I got this, and it is forming a feedback loop. Okay, H1, and then it is cascade with G3 C of S. Okay, now you can see here this is forming a closed loop. Whatever you will get this, and G3 is in cascade form. So first of all, iska closed loop we will find, and then cascade with G3. So GS equal to what? Transfer function equal to total transfer function equal to what? This is G1 G2 GS, that is G1 G2 upon 1 plus G2 H1 plus G2 G3 H2, this one, this is the GS, upon 1. Now see what is the feedback? Positive feedback is there, so यहाँ आएगा minus. Okay, because of positive feedback, minus GS, this G1 G2 upon 1 plus G2 H1 plus G2 G3 H2. This is GS upon 1 minus GS HS. HS कितना है? H1. Okay, so you take the LCM here, and after LCM, this LCM के बाद this will be cancelled. So you will get, if you solve it, you will get G1 G2 upon, this is 1 plus G2 H1 plus G2 G3 H2 minus this, minus what? G1 G2 H1, G1 G2 H1, right? So I got transfer function of this block, and this G3 is cascade with this, so total transfer equal to into G3. That is the answer. That is the total transfer function of the system is what? We got it, G1 G2 G3 upon 1 plus G2H1 plus G2G3H2 minus G2G1H1. Okay, so that is the answer I got it. Okay, so it is better draw more and more block diagram first, and within a few steps you have to simplify the problem. Okay, so this is the case we have now. One more problem I'm going to solve by using block diagram reduction technique. So I'm rubbing it first. Okay. Okay. So this is given. In this problem, this is okay. This is G1, G2, G3, H1, H2. Okay. So this is given. Okay. So you can either you can shift this to here or this to here. Okay. This takeoff point either shift to here or this takeoff point you can shift to here. So both will give the same. I'm going to shift this takeoff point to here beyond the block. When you shift beyond the block, so this will be divided by G2. Okay, and these two will come in cascade. So I'm going to draw it. R of S is a negative feedback. Again it is a negative feedback. Okay, if you are going to shift this takeoff point to here, so these two will come in cascade G1, G2. Okay, and here it is G3. This is C of S. I'm taking a unity feedback from here. From here I'm taking unity feedback, right? Now you can say this is here, this was H2. Okay, so this is H2. If you, this is H2. It is negative feedback. Clear? This is the positive feedback. Here only. Here only. Clear? What is the value of here? This is the feedback. Okay. If you are shifting this takeoff point here, so it will be divided by G2. Okay. So this will become H1 by G2. Okay. Now you can simplify it. Okay. So you can simplify. Okay. Okay. So separately you can simplify. You can take this feedback only. Then this feedback we can take, or combinedly. So I'm going to change the ink. Suppose I'm going to use a red one. Okay. Okay. I'm taking this feedback. This is negative feedback is there. Okay. So I'm going to simplify it. R of S, this, it is negative feedback. Okay. And this is again, I'm going to take this. So this will be as it is. Positive feedback, right? This is what? H1 by G2. H1 by G2. Okay, so this is as it is, and this is the closed loop transfer function I am getting from here. What is the transfer function GS? That is G1 GS G1 G2 upon 1 plus 1 plus GSHS G1 G2 H2. Okay, I got it. Then okay, and this is the G3, and this is the unity feedback, negative feedback, this one. Now you can say again if you solve it, you can say this is again forming a closed loop feedback, closed loop system. It is a feedback loop it is forming with positive feedback. So we are going to solve this first. Then whatever you will get this, and G3 will be in cascade. So what is the GS? It is GS and this is HS. So क्या आएगा इसका? If you solve it, GS मतलब क्या है? G1 G2 upon 1 plus G1 G2 H2. This is GS G1 G2 upon 1 plus G1 G2 H2. GS upon what? 1. It is a positive feedback. Please see here. It is a positive feedback, so it is negative sign. GS G1 G2 upon 1 plus G1 G2 H2. GS upon 1 minus GS into HS is this. क्या है HS? H1 by G2. So this G2 and this G2 will be cancelled. Okay. So if you solve it, you will get, after LCM this will be cancelled, this and this. So क्या आएगा? You will get G1 G2 upon, after LCM this will be cancelled, upon 1 minus 1 plus G1 G2 H2 G1 G2 H2 minus G1 H1 minus G1 H1 G1 into H1. This will be cancelled. This is the transfer function we got here. It is a closed loop system, and whatever you will get here, this is cascade with G3. It is cascade with G3, so multiply by G3. It is cascade with. Now you will get another diagram like this. Here are G1 G2 G3 upon 1 plus G1 G2 G1 G2 H2 minus G1 H1. This G1 G2 G3 upon 1 plus G1 G2 H2 minus G1 H1. Okay. This was CS. This is RS with a negative feedback, and this is unity feedback. It is a unity feedback. Okay. So what is the value of transfer function? Transfer function of the whole system is GS upon 1 plus GS, because HS is 1. So GS कितना है? This is G1 G2 G3 upon this 1 plus G1 G2 H2 minus G1 H1. This is GS upon 1 plus, sorry, it is a negative feedback, so it is a plus 1 plus this GS G1 G2 G3 upon 1 plus G1 G2 H2 minus G1 H1 into HS equal to 1. So after LCM this will be cancelled and we will get the transfer function. Okay, so I am going to use another pen, say green. That is the answer I am getting. What is the answer I am getting? G1 G2 G3 G1 G2 G3 upon, after LCM this will be cancelled, upon this 1 plus G1 G2 H2 G1 G2 H2 G1 G2 H2 1 plus minus G1 H1 minus G1 H1 plus this G1 G2. So this is the answer we got. Okay, so I got G1 G2 G3 upon 1 plus G1 H1 plus G1 G2 H2 plus G1 G2 G3. Okay, so that is the answer we got it. Okay, so this part is over. Now in the next lecture I will discuss the signal flow graph technique, and in the signal flow graph technique how to find the transfer function. Actually there this technique is very simple. It is not consuming time because the formula is available known as Mason's gain formula. Because of that formula we can find the transfer function within a very short time. But this block diagram reduction technique is a time consuming process. Okay, anyway, thank you very much for listening me. Please subscribe the channel. If you want, you will get the intimation whenever we will upload my video on electrical machines, on control system 1, on basic electrical engineering, and also on network analysis. Already I have uploaded these things. These will be helpful for your gate examination as well as for preparation of some other exams. Okay, thank you very much for listening me carefully. Thank you.